Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff. Hey guys, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Maureen.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Bethany.
And I'm Jeanette.
We are talking about the Residence finale for season 5 this week. And we will also be talking the second to last episode of This Is Us. The title for the finale was Neon Moon. Was that the name of a song that he and Nick played? Is that why it was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not know that song?
Do you not know that song?
I don't know.
Are you serious?
Maureen.
Brooks and Dunn. Neon Moon.
I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm not a country person.
It's just a known song.
Brooks and Dunn is a country act.
Brooks and Dunn, they transcend.
It's just a
They do, but they aren't played on regular stations.
All of our stations are country mostly. So
I know who Brooks and Dunn is. I know what they look like. If I saw them, I would be able to pick them out. I might have seen them in concert too at the county fair, but I don't know their songs. Anyway, so that's why it's called that. It's because it's the song that Kim and Conrad danced to. So we get more of Andrew McCarthy this week, and I'm really glad that he is not dead. He's sticking around.
I guess.
He is staying.
It's weird to be on the other end of that. I'm usually the aggressor with this family.
Not when it's Andrew McCarthy though.
No, but with Cade.
Well, I know, but I mean, you could never be,
Well,
she
you know
did
what?
not say, I'm glad she's not dead when Kate almost died. Just saying.
It's because it's
I
Andrew
said I liked her
McCarthy.
though.
We liked him before we even saw his character.
Right.
So
He's just a bonehead in this.
It was really hard to not switch off The Resident and watch some of his 80s movies. Really, really difficult.
No.
I wanted to. Pretty in Pink was calling my name.
That's what I wanted to watch.
That sounds
Fine.
like a good movie to just.
I think I am gonna have to watch Pretty in Pink soon. It's been so many years since I've seen
A
it.
long time.
My
Did you
girl.
just say that sounds like a good movie. Have you not seen that before? Bethany?
What? Me?
I think
Oh
Amanda's
no,
seen
I
it.
said that sounds like a good movie to watch
Oh,
now.
I thought you said that sounds like a good movie. I'm like,
I've
never
never
seen it.
completely
Okay.
horrified for a straight minute.
that was just my pre-Halloween prank on you. I don't know.
Pre-Halloween break. That's not something I heard of him made before.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to make sense of it all.
Pre-Memorial
Late
Day
April
break.
I was like, it's really pre-Halloween.
It could be pre. I mean, technically, it is pre-April Fools. I mean, technically.
Oh, yeah,
it's
that's true.
post April Fools. Like a late April Fools.
Unless you're thinking April Fool's next year.
Yes.
Just to
That's
keep you on your toes. You
Right.
don't know when my April Fool's joke's gonna come.
Yeah, it could be in May. It
terrifying.
could be December. You just never know.
All right. My girl this week was so amazing in my eyes.
I actually really liked her a lot this
Yeah,
week.
no, I liked her.
Right? I told you guys you were gonna start liking her better once she got the mob off her back.
To be fair, I said the same thing.
Aw.
Yeah, but
She's still a
I
little
never
boring.
left her side.
That's
You
true.
guys were all running
Never
away.
on her side before this.
I was on
I've
her
been
side.
neutral like the whole time, and I still am.
You were not Team Kate.
I'm not Team Kate. I am completely
So
like
you
I could take
shush.
her or leave her.
I'm Team Kate.
You're the
I
only
wouldn't
one.
be sad if she left. I
No,
like her,
I mean, I
but
wouldn't
I wouldn't
either.
be sad if she left.
I would be very sad if she
I'd
left.
I'd be
rather
more
her-
sad if Andrew McCarthy left.
I was going to say I'd be more sad that her dad leaves.
But that's more an emotional connection than the fact that I dig his character.
I think that Conrad will end up with Billy.
I'm not
I
sure.
do. I think that I
Oh.
don't know. I hope not. I hope he ends up with Kate. That's who I want him with.
I think he'll be
But-
with Kate first, but in game will be Billy. That's what I
No.
think.
I think he's a one-woman girl.
Yeah, but Cade
I
may
think
not be
he'll-
able to
oh, I love the
handle. Cade may not be able to handle that kind of stability when she's been running for so long, and that's what she's used to, is being alone and doing things her way on her own. The way I think she might be interested to try it, but maybe it'll be too much.
I think it's exactly what she's going to need, and she's going to love it.
Okay.
And I love that how Gigi's always, what's the word?
Adorable.
No.
Cute.
Well,
True,
she,
but
no, I
amazing.
mean, she is. But no, Gigi's like, so she loves her already.
Gigi loves everybody.
Billy
No, she
too, though.
loves Cade more.
No, she does not.
Yes, she
I
does.
Billy
will.
not more than Billy.
If
Isn't
she
Billy
had to
like?
choose between Billy and Cade, she's going Billy.
No, she's not.
She's
She
Team
is.
Billy. Trust
That's
me.
her connection to her mom. She's Billy.
I wish
Oh,
we
But
had
right
more
now,
Billy
she's not being forced to
scenes with
choose.
her.
She's equal opportunity Gigi. She
Poor
loves
Amanda.
everybody equal.
I'm gonna stick it out.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
they
be
showed us
Team
a lot
Cade
of
till the end.
Cade and Gigi at the end, but
Mhm.
not a whole lot of Billy and Gigi.
But in the last year, they've tried to trick us a lot.
They have, because both seem like they could just fit into one big happy family. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of like, well, which one are they going to go with? Because, yeah, they're kind of throwing it out there. And
Mhm.
almost, if it's too obvious, if it's too good of a fit, whether
Yeah.
what be Kate or Billy,
Mhm.
we may have to be on our guard a little bit there because it may not
Yeah.
be what's really going to happen.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I
I think we
mean,
will. I think that's it.
we didn't. We're obviously gonna see. I still think my theory of why they left it on the cliffhanger is right
get renewed.
because they didn't know if it won
that
because
too.
they didn't know
No.
if it was going to get renewed, and two because Jessica's pregnant in real life,
Mhm.
and I guarantee you they did not want to get burned again from somebody
See that?
right after they had a baby.
That's true.
So
They're
this way,
probably prepping just in case.
oh yeah, just in case she doesn't come back to the show next season, they're going to say, "Oh well, he chose Cade."
Oh,
Yeah.
it's convenient.
And in the whole time.
And honestly, I
Sneak
said,
talk.
I think her pregnancy has been a little bit of why we haven't seen the time with him and Billy like we have with him and Kate.
Because we didn't see
Because
that
it's
build up of
hard-
her feelings for him.
It's hard to do it's probably hard to do scenes and hide that. Like especially if it's like, other than just her at the hospital in her scrubs. And so we haven't, so that's why it feels like a surprise, but I don't know. I wish we had seen more of like that so we can make an informed decision. Because right now my decision is based on the fact that I just like Billy better, but I haven't really seen them other than when he found out like she had been raped and all that. And so that was the only time, and he was sort of there for her, was the only time we saw any sort of like real emotional like connection between the two of them. So
that's my thing is I don't feel connected to Conrad and Billy at all. Like I see no romance. I see no passion. I see no connection.
I see it from her. I don't see it from Conrad yet.
Yeah, I don't see it.
But that's just going off of that one single scene though.
I mean, I barely see it from her.
That's
like,
I think
they don't click to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I think he's going to choose Kate. But then I think there's going to be something that happens where we do get to see something emotional happen between him and Billy. And then he will realize like, wait, no, this is the person I'm supposed to be with. I don't know.
It's
okay with there being a little drama. Like I kind of don't want him to just like pick and then that's it.
That's what I was going to say. It's the resident. So there's going to be some sort of significant reason for him to choose which one over the other.
Yeah.
Whether it's just, a storyline with the character or so I don't know. They're going to have fun with it. It's going to be dramatic, but to see which one.
And he might at first pick the one that has the least connection to Nick.
Oh, that's true. It's a fresh start.
And plus, have we ever had a love triangle on The Resident? I mean, maybe we should.
I don't think so.
Yes. Devin, his fiance, and Jenna Dwayne.
Well, his fiance didn't stand a chance on that one. I feel like it was pretty one-sided. Like
Priya.
Yeah, she was.
What was Jenna Dwayne's name?
Julian.
Julian, yeah.
I liked her. She was I really, really loved her with Devin.
Me too.
So bummed.
Yeah, it was so like he leaves Priya for her, and then she's like, "Oh, by the way, my job's taking me away. Bye."
Yeah.
And then of course now she's on The Rookie, and she's on Superman and Lois. Of course, every time I see her, I'm just thinking, The Resident. But yeah, I mean, she's like a really great character in both of those other shows. So,
yeah,
it's probably why she left The Resident to go on to other series.
Plus, I think they like to just screw with Devin.
They do.
We do see that they don't discriminate though, because clearly with Ian, they're screwing with him immediately. Like there's not even a pause or a breath or anything. It's like, bam, you're about to die.
They heard me.
How dare you? Get out. So they did try to kill off the unkillable Andrew McCarthy by giving him pancreatic cancer, but nothing can keep this man down. At some point, I'm gonna have to start calling me insolvent, but I'm not ready for that.
You're
I
not
don't,
ready.
I don't want to do it yet.
I would have
Casey Jones,
no.
no.
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say,
even
it's
know
like
his
our
name was
Casey
Ian until you just told me. So
It was just like Kate's dad, and it was the only way I
No,
thought of it.
Andrew McCarthy.
No. But I meant like as far as connected to
Oh,
the show.
what his
So
character is on the show. Gotcha.
right. So like if I had to identify his character, I would just be like Kate's dad because I wouldn't, it's Andrew McCarthy. Yeah.
I apologize for coming on strong with that.
I kind of realized how it sounded as I was saying it. I'm like, oh, they're not going to understand what I mean.
yes, we know.
Did anyone else think it was a little weird though, like how they introduced the thing? Because he was in there first of all, I like the parallel between Cade checking herself out. Like, you can't do that. I'm my own doctor. Dad, what are you doing? I'm checking myself out. You can't do that.
What did Conrad said,
that apple fell directly under the tree. I laughed really hard.
I did too.
But
You see? Oh, did you see? Yeah. See, they're perfect together. Do you see that humor that they use when they're together?
Mhm.
It just flows and it's so nice. All
You
right,
need an
let's
opposite.
move
Tried
on.
so hard
I
to
just
sell
wanted to
us,
point
but
that out
yeah.
real
You
fast.
need an opposite in order for it to function right. They
No,
have
they're
to
perfect. They're
complete.
perfect for each other. Perfect.
But that's what we find out is he's discharging himself. And then they're like, hey, you have pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
They Conrad was sitting right there. Conrad and Cade were sitting right there.
Oh, I thought
You thought you were talking about Kay discharging
Yeah.
herself.
No. No, do they tell him right away you have cancer? Because I know Conrad said we have to run more tests. So do we
Yeah.
know right away or do we know later?
I think we know a little bit later. I
Yeah.
think they're kind of suspecting it. They're not quite sure. And it was until they get the
More
scan
testing. But I think that he was discharging himself because he didn't want to face the music of what it was.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to, I think he knew it was serious and he didn't want it to be serious. So he thought, I'm just gonna ignore it.
I know he went for a scan because didn't they make something about telling him to stand still? So Cade was
Yeah,
in
he said
there.
he had an itch.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was his whole body then. I remember that now his whole body was in there. Okay.
Clearly I
I'm
watched
just mixing up the
this
two storylines.
very
Okay,
carefully.
resident writers, you can't do this. You can't have two people go over the
No.
same sort of scan because it confuses us.
We're not medical professionals.
Well,
I mean, I kind of am.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm not at all.
But yeah, because even I know that when he got the results, Conrad and Cade were in the room and they handed him the iPad with, the images. So, and I don't remember seeing his head in the scan either. So I think
no, it wasn't because his whole body was in there because he moved his finger to itch his leg.
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah, I just mixed it up to two stories.
Yeah.
But he was feisty when he found out.
Well, yeah.
He was like,
He's
so I have a
used to
death
being
sentence.
in control, and suddenly this
And then
happened.
I feel like he kind of knew.
I think he knew it was something serious, but I don't think he thought it was this death sentence that pancreatic
Yeah.
cancer typically is.
Yeah. Did they
Yeah.
say what stage?
Mm-mm.
No.
I imagine it had to be relatively early because they were able to get all of it out right then. If it had been a long time, the cancer cells likely would have traveled. So we also don't know if he's going to go through chemo or anything. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
They were able to get it. And
also, why is there so much cancer on the show?
it's a lot of
Why?
There is.
I don't need to know all the
Unfortunately-
different ways people died of cancer.
It's on all the medical shows right now, or at least feel like I notice it all now. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
So when you buy a new car, you notice that car everywhere. So Maureen has cancer. Oh, cancer's everywhere.
I mean, maybe.
I think the same thing too, because my brother, when he got his first car or his latest car, suddenly like everywhere you drive, you see a car just like it. And it's like, am I
I
just
was
noticing?
trying to be an individual.
I was trying to be special here, people. Come on. Yeah.
So what was the talk? Remind me the talk that Kate had with Conrad.
It was, definitely between their relationship between her and her father.
Did it
Don't ask
go
me for all the details.
well,
on it.
because I don't remember this conversation.
Yeah, it actually did go well. So
I block out any Sullivan scene that doesn't have Andrew McCarthy in it.
you're like, it doesn't exist if Andrew McCarthy is not in it.
I'm quickly
Talk in
realizing.
the stairwell.
Yes, it was on the stairs.
They were in the stairwell?
I'm quickly realizing
Yeah,
I
I
did not
remember that.
pay that
Yeah.
close attention to some of this, even though I made the outline for us to go off of.
I know
didn't-
having flashbacks of Nick then.
This is why I have to watch on Thursday. I cannot watch on Tuesday nights
find
and
out.
then
I watched
expect
on
to
Wednesday.
remember.
Oh, I actually just saw it this evening.
Oh, wait, here you go.
Take it away, Beth.
So what happened on the talk on the stairwell is actually kind of sweet because he was trying to tell her that he had the same kind of relationship with his own dad. And he said, it's amazing what forgiveness and acceptance can do. Once he forgave his father and accepted his father for who he was, that suddenly they had a greater relationship because Conrad realized he wasn't blameless, that it truly was a two-way street.
Gotcha.
And so he couldn't throw everything on his father. He had to realize that he had to take responsibility for his part in it and forgive his father for his part in it. And so he was telling Cade that, you know, she could lose her father. And as problematic as, you know, his actions have been and how their relationship is, that, you know, she just needs to forgive him and accept him for who he is, because she may lose him. But if she doesn't lose him, she'll gain him as a father.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was very significant and very sentimental. And that's when he hugs her and has that flashback to the night that he and Nick were on that date that they've been flashing back to throughout the whole episode. And he's remembering when he was hugging that other lady at the bar they were at, which, you know, we find out ends up being, you know, really significant moment. You know, of course, that's when Nick walks out and sees him hugging her and
the wife who had her husband had cancer.
Exactly. And the wife whose husband had cancer. And then that's when, you know, Nick realizes why he was hugging her.
And I think that talk with her is the reason why she allowed herself to talk with Ian a little bit more and to have more of it. Like, and even when she was talking with him, she left the room because she could feel herself getting angry. And I think it was partly Conrad's talk that was the reason why she's like, okay, I'm not going to rise to the bait. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to cool off. But I mean, that last talk that they had before the surgery was so good. And that's what we've been saying about him is I think that deep down, there is some part of him that moved there for her.
Absolutely. I mean, it's still her father. I mean, that's his daughter. You know, he's human, but he's going to feel those, you know, connections to her. And that's what he said. If I've never told you enough, I love you, because he's thinking that could be the last time he talks to her, you know, and it kind of reminded me of when Nick's dad and Nick's sister Jessica, when they were going for, you know, and it truly was the last time they talked to each other. And it was just kind of like that moment of, oh my gosh, I love you.
You know? No, I was gonna say, like, anyone else, like, here he said he loved her, and I was like, why didn't she tell him she loved him too?
Because she's not used to hearing that. She's not used to having an affectionate father, and that's what I think she should have. I agree with you, she should have, but I think that's why. And you could see that she was completely taken aback when he said it.
She was talking about wanting that, and then it happened, and you didn't reciprocate.
But there's also that aspect of he's about to go into a surgery that might kill him. So if I keep my walls up, it's not going to hurt as bad if he dies. Because you got to remember, she's been alone for so long that that's probably at least part of what she's thinking. It doesn't make sense to us who would say I love you, but that's probably part of the reason why.
I think you would beat yourself up more, like, if you had the opportunity.
You don't think about that in the moment, I don't think.
I think, though, in her own way, she may have communicated that. And I think he understood what she meant when he said, okay, now go ahead and, you know, put that, I can't remember how she worded it, but like, you know, go ahead and be
like an unforgivable monster that you're used to being or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, kind of go ahead and go back to having that angst and beat this thing. So it was almost like she was accepting. She was accepting the sentiment, but it's like, okay, now go back to get that drive, you know, put that fight back in and put all of that aggression towards this and beat it, you know. So, and I think in the way she said it, and way better than I did, because I can't remember exactly how she worded it, but I kind of took it as that was her way of saying I love you. It was like a Han Solo, Princess Leia, like, I love you, I know. It was kind of, that's what it kind of felt like to me. So that was, you know, I think he kind of understood what she meant.
But it was nice. It was nice to see Belle not just come back to his roots in this episode, but do something that only, like, I don't know anything about Whipple. I feel like I've heard that before on medical shows.
I know all about a Whipple, right?
I do too.
Apparently it's rare, right? I'm guessing it's a rare surgery.
It is.
But Belle is the one in the hospital who's done them over and over and over again. So for them to put their trust in Belle is just right after that flare up he had.
I don't know exactly what it is, but it's complicated because I know
It's
on
very
Grace,
complicated.
it's
Yeah.
like their favorite surgery to do, probably
Yes.
because it's complicated. Like they love to do a
Yeah.
nipple. Like it's, I don't know. They talk about it a lot. I have no idea what it actually entails though.
It's the removing of the head of the pancreas.
Oh, there
You're
you go.
just gonna end at head.
Mhm.
That doesn't sound life-saving,
All right.
Amanda.
It's the complex operation to remove the head of the pancreas, the first part of the small intestine, the gallbladder, and the bile duct.
Ooh, it's a lot of stuff.
Really grossed out right now.
My grandmother actually had the Whipple procedure. And
Ooh,
so
the
every time
Whipple.
yes, she had that procedure, and she had cancer back in 1986, and it was by the grace of God. She had a 95% mortality rate.
Wow.
And she
Okay.
is, and let me tell you something, she is 81 years old today. I mean, not
Mhm.
today, today's not her birthday, but I meant like present day. She's
Mhm.
healthy, she's active. I mean, God has really just totally blessed her. And so it was so cool because every time somebody mentions the Whipple procedure, like if our family's in the same room, we all just look at each other and we just smirk because it's just one of those like,
I know
look
people
it
get
is
too high
rare.
that.
It is rare.
I did like though that there was a lot of fear on Ian, and there was a lot of fear for Cade, which was nice to
Yeah.
see for her father. But
Mhm.
Belle was, and there was even fear in Belle when that doctor
Yeah.
told him you're clear for surgery. He didn't look
He wasn't
pleased to
sure.
hear it.
Yeah.
No.
I know we
And
talk
I'm
about surgery, we talk
glad.
about Belle, but I love this progression of his character that he's like that all the
Oh.
time when they say
Mhm.
this.
Also, thank you. We were kind of worried last week when he
Mhm.
went blind.
Yeah.
And then this week it was kind of like a brush off, like it was
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, whew, okay. But he was amazing guiding Leela
Mhm.
through this surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, just that Belle would never have done that in season 2.
Mhm. No,
Let's not even say season 1.
even
Well,
Wild and
yeah.
Glory.
Like I mean, we all love his character development, but also I'm a little bit proud of Leela too. I mean,
I was.
Mhm.
I know we've been really angry with her
Still a little matter.
the past
I'm still mad.
a little while. But she did a really good job, and I was proud of her.
And
I
she
think
even
it
said in
helped
the
kind of ground
beginning, it's Cade's father. Are you sure I should be the one to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it kind of grounded her a little bit. Not grounded like she's grounded, but I meant like it kind of gave some perspective, her being able to have that chance, with such a huge surgery on such a significant person in their lives.
And I
Mhm.
mean, it's significant too. And that I think this and just the way that Belle's mentoring her she's now decided she's dropping cardio and neuro and she's just going to go into general surgery. and
Which I
let
think is
him-
wise.
I do too. So I
Mhm.
like this.
And it's
Which is-
100% successful surgery too. I mean, they
Yeah.
they together, Belle and Lilo knocked it out of the park because they did
Yeah.
a scan after too, right, to see if there was any
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if they did a scan. Well, I know that
maybe
Belle
blood
said,
tests.
I think Belle was telling at the engagement party when he was talking to Kit, he said that they got it all and that he should be completely cancer free.
Mhm.
I think
So,
that's true. I think they
right?
had confirmation on that, but I think it was like if we get this result, it should be, I
Yeah.
think they
Mhm.
I think they're hopeful anyways that it's all gone. So
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
great, and I think maybe now that probably opens up, a new possibility. If he's not going to die and they have that opening,
He's that
they
Yep.
might,
driver.
yeah, he's going to be there for a little while, and then you're going to have that storyline.
Bethany, I said the word forever.
Oh, forever. Not a little
not
while.
a little while,
Forever.
forever.
And ever. There you go. Yeah, but I mean, it was cool, to see that and kind of everything cultivate like at that engagement party as well.
Mhm. How cute were they at their engagement party? I loved it.
I know.
I'm excited for that.
I mean, there's so much happy news. You got, the engagement party and,
Mhm.
Padma's good news. So
I was
Oh.
that was sweet. I kind of had a feeling that, here we've gone to, she goes for ultrasound or whatever. And I was like, I bet it's twins. I just had a feeling.
Mhm.
I did
Somehow,
too, though.
I was like, how cool would that be? And then sure enough, it is. And her telling AJ his reaction was just,
Who was standing next to AJ playing darts?
Nolan.
Mhm.
I got real excited. I was like, oh my God, it's Dr. Nolan.
Give that man a line.
And then he didn't say anything.
I didn't even get to say anything.
He needs way more lines.
I hope Michael Hogan understands how much we adore him, because even though he's not in every episode, he's pretty much in every episode of The Resident that we talk about, because we
That is
have to
true.
mention him.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We talk about every episode of the rest.
No, only the ones that Dr. Nolan are in.
The others don't exist, you know.
If he's not in it, we make sure we talk about why he wasn't in it. How disappointed we were that he wasn't in it.
I did love the look on AJ's face when he's like, I'm gonna be a father.
Oh.
Like he was just
I
and
know.
At first when she was like, when she said, I want you to be as involved as you want to be, didn't we already cover this back? Like I appreciate you reiterating it, but it's done. We decided this.
Yeah.
He's involved.
Well, I think
Yeah.
because it's 2 instead of 1, it changes. And I
Yeah,
think that
that's
maybe
true.
had scared her maybe a little bit.
Maybe
Yeah.
she was
But
trying to
I
make him,
I
like,
wasn't worried.
It's gonna be a parent trap situation where they eventually just split them off. They find each other at camp years later. Adam's growing her kid in a van. Not growing. She's not growing a kid in a van.
Crazy.
That would be weird. She's raising a child in the van.
they're growing up. The
AJ is
child's
really
growing-
polished and gets driven to the camp in
mean,
a limo.
Yeah.
Technically it's growing where it lives.
growing, yeah.
So
growing up. The kid's growing.
Chained to a van.
a child can grow in a van. Technically.
She could,
Good
sure.
call. Good call. Thanks for pulling it back, Amanda.
You're welcome. I got you.
I was mad at Padma for telling Lula to talk to Devin though.
Why were you mad? I mean,
What?
I wasn't mad.
I wasn't mad at all.
I felt like
liked it.
Leela needed to go talk to Devin. Like
She
she needed to
did.
tell him. Like every
I'm
time
not
they
mad that she
spoke,
said it. I'm mad at the end result of it.
I'm not.
Why?
Not that
Right.
mad.
Get separate. You don't want them together.
I'm
I
not-
do.
Well, I don't necessarily want them together, but Devin was leaving. So if it
Yeah.
Well,
takes
keep
him
here.
taking Leela back to keep him, I'm okay with it.
But
Let's
is
do it.
next season going to be a slow burn of Devin realize, oh wait, I actually do want kids, and so we're going to get like another
Well,
22 episodes
no.
of this.
No.
Here's what I
Leela's
think.
gonna see Padma with kids. She
I
changed it to
hope
general
so.
surgery.
Yeah.
I think
that's
she's
what she
gonna
was
be way
Did
more
anyone else think
open.
that's what she was going to tell him? That
Yes.
I saw Padma's ultrasound and now I want kids.
Well,
No,
I didn't,
no.
That's
because
what
I think
know,
it's
so.
too
Did.
soon. But
Yeah.
you could see it on her face. There was something about the ultrasound that at least made her decide to not close it off completely anymore.
Yeah.
Like, let's just see what happens, which I think is progress. And the fact that she's just going to do general surgery and she's not going to, try to do this crazy double like board certification or whatever, like she's not going to be as busy. She can try to, I don't know. She's got time for a family now. And I think she's going to realize that.
What I didn't, and it made me sad because like, obviously Devin's reaction came out of his patient, which was a very tragic story. And I have issues with it. But when he said, I watched a mother and her baby die today, and it made me realize I'm doing the same thing.
Ugh.
But you weren't though.
You weren't.
No.
That's why I was frustrated, because it felt like he was giving up what he has always wanted again for her. And it's just like, no, that's not what you were doing, dude. You weren't giving up a hypothetical kid for the woman you love. It was a chance to be a father and raise a family and have kids have your name. It was just, that's what it was. And you had a partner who at the time didn't think about you at all. It was about what she wanted, how she wanted it handled, and how she thought it should have happened. And then the way she came at him, like, she should have apologized before they got back together.
I agree with
He
that.
did after she said, I did things wrong too, but she should have been the first to say, hey. When she wanted to talk to him, she should have been like, hey, and I knew I was terrible to you. And I'm sorry for the way I came at you. I'm sorry for the things I said to you.
Yeah.
She should have been the first to apologize, because Devin, in my eyes, didn't do wrong.
That's what, as soon
No,
as she said that, I did things wrong too. I think I said to my screen,
All of
no, he didn't do anything wrong.
Mhm.
You
Nothing
did
wrong.
all the things wrong. You're
Yeah.
100% to blame for every bit of this.
And
Yeah.
that is why I was frustrated with the conversation. Like,
But
I would love them together if she changes her mind so that Devin doesn't have to compromise anything. And the thing is, Devin has sacrificed things that he has wanted and things he's dreamed about over and over and over and over again. I don't want to see him do it anymore.
Yeah.
Why is he always the last person on everybody's list?
But if he is serious in that case, even though I think they're completely, totally different situations, I
Mhm.
agree with that completely. But if that case really did make him realize, I would rather have Leela than anything else in my life, then I'm okay with, I'm okay with if that's really what he's thinking now. Like if it's not a sacrifice for him.
But here's the thing,
Maybe
it's
it's
on the
not.
heels of a breakup where he's leaving because he's so sad that he's not with this woman.
Yeah.
Is it really what he's thinking, or does he just miss her, and does he have all of his friends and coworkers saying, hey, go talk to Leela, make it up, go back with her?
Yeah.
And it's an easy choice.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree, but I'm just glad he's staying. So I'm not going to question it. I'm just gonna roll
I'm
with
just
it.
gonna take the win.
Exactly.
I'm just happy he's staying. That's all I'm
I
saying.
am happy he's staying. I was real mad when it looked like he was going to go. I was real mad. The thing about Devin's patient is I think that they oversimplified it. And I was really disappointed in that, because that man had to make an impossible decision.
Possible.
And when he was told there is hope to save them both, what guy isn't going to choose the hope that's going to save them both? And they made him, like, they made it like he was the worst person in the world for not choosing to end that pregnancy.
Well,
but-
plus, I wonder what the mom would have chosen.
That's exactly. See, I didn't notice she was unconscious at first, and I kept yelling, "It's her decision!"
I know.
Like on Bridgerton, when the doctor's like, "Anthony, what do you want your mom to do?" No,
Yeah.
asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
don't
she
know
really
what she would have
wasn't.
chosen, because
I think she would have chosen her child. The
think
way
she
she was
had-
fighting for it, I think she might have chosen her child.
Well,
I
with
think
the
any-
exception of
I think-
she had
yeah.
another child, and that's the only part. That's the part that was stressing me out. Like,
I
yo, this
know.
kid is like standing here, like losing his
I
mother.
know,
Like,
But again, having already birthed a child and knowing how much you love and adore that child, do you think that if you're growing this other child inside of you that you are absolutely in love with and totally excited with, that you would choose your life over its? And
No.
some people might, and
don't
that's your
know.
prerogative. That's what I'm saying, though, is that
That's
it was
true.
an
it's
impossible,
impossible.
It's an
impossible
impossible
decision.
decision.
And they made this guy feel like absolute garbage for it. And even Billy's like,
I
did you
know.
tell him this could happen? Yeah, but they also
I
told him there was
caught
hope.
that too. Yeah.
But they gave him a little bit of hope that they could save them both.
But it-
And I'm sorry, but who wouldn't jump at that?
Yeah, I mean, they should have given him no hope on it. I mean,
Exactly.
as far as like, if they knew that this is how it was going to go, they should have made it clear that either you
100%.
lose the baby or you lose them both.
Because then I think he would have tried. And by the way, there is a baby that survived at 5 months. He
Yeah.
just turned 1 this
Yes.
year.
Yes.
There was my mom's cousin, I don't think it was quite 5 months. I think it was a little bit older, but he was very, very close to that. And he just
Mhm.
graduated high school a couple of years ago, so
And-
it's possible.
Why wasn't that given as an option? Like, hey, we can save your wife and deliver the child right
Yeah.
now. We can't guarantee the
I
child
just-
will live, but why don't we deliver the child, save your wife? Your child might die, but we can still deliver it if this is what you
Devin
choose.
said
That
it was
should have been an
wasn't-
option.
Amanda,
Yeah.
did you just watch the most recent episode of Med? Wasn't that baby they just delivered 26 weeks? I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
I haven't seen this Wednesday.
26 weeks is
I've
generally
seen
when it's
Fire. I haven't
considered
made Med.
viable.
Yeah, that's
It's
what.
26 weeks. But
Oh,
this baby
that's
was
what I
20
thought.
weeks.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
they said. Oh, yeah.
I'm-
that's
I
5
had a
months is
friend-
20 weeks.
I had a friend deliver at 24 weeks, and her baby's, I think, 8 years old today.
Well,
Yeah.
So
I
it
didn't-
happens.
It
It's just-
does.
It's very rare.
And there's
It
a
is very
5-month-old
rare.
that literally just, it was in the news. There's a 5-month-old who just turned 1 this year. And I don't understand why the
Mhm.
only option he was given was kill the baby or
Yeah.
basically kill your wife. Why couldn't they have saved the wife while delivering a baby? If the baby died, the baby died.
Yeah.
But the wife
But at
would have been
least
saved to
try.
be a mother for this. And that was my problem with it, is they made this guy feel like you have to choose to kill one of your loves of your life. You have to choose which one
Yep.
to kill. And
Yeah.
clearly it wasn't a decision he was ready to make.
And then
And I'm pretty sure he
afterwards,
was Catholic because he did this. So there's no way he's going to choose. And they knew that. They should have known that.
yeah,
Offer him a viable solution that he could live with.
yeah. I felt bad. And then you like kind of harassed him afterwards. Like, let's not make it worse now.
Yes.
I mean,
Better
I
That
feel
was-
terrible.
These people have never had to make, yeah, you might be doctors, but you've never had to make this decision. Do you think for 1 second Conrad would have made that decision? He did
Yeah.
everything he could to keep Nick alive for a long period of time.
Yeah.
True.
You cannot act like you know what that decision is going to be unless you've ever had to make that decision. Even then, it's iffy that you can tell someone else that you're a garbage human being because you didn't decide on this.
Yeah.
I thought they were really unfair to this guy.
It would have been cool to have seen, Conrad's kind of interaction with that, whichever way it would have gone, whether he said, hey, let's try this or let's not try this, but let him down easy.
Mhm.
But Conrad's a father, Devin's not.
Exactly.
As much as
Yeah.
Devin wants to be a father, Conrad knows what it feels like to have
Mhm.
that child and what it means to tell that father that he might
Mhm.
have his little girl ripped away
Yeah.
from him.
Mhm.
Or
I mean, you look at,
and
if you're
Conrad
not-
knows what it's like to lose his wife too, so he would have a
Yes.
very real world perspective on this
and if you
situation.
could look at Conrad and say, hey, choose Gigi or Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough choice.
No.
Yeah.
There's
But
no
what
way. And I think that AJ is all science all the time, that I get his insensitivity, but we have been watching Devin this whole season come up with miracles that were way out of left field. He's a science man, but he's in the business of the impossible right now. I think that he gave up too soon.
Well, it was the storyline was contrived to make Devin have this realization about losing Leah. So, I mean, that's what it was for. And that's what, that's why they had to play it this way.
It felt a little agenda-like too. Like, if
yeah.
you don't choose them other than you're a terrible human being. Like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah. And I think it was solely, the purpose was just to give perspective to Devin's character. I think that was the whole purpose of the storyline.
Yeah.
And, you realize that once
it was for that.
Yeah. And so that's why I think it was just such an impossible storyline, because they were never intending on saving or solving it. It was just for,
which is a shame, because that's not who they made Devin out to be.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I think if it was Devin 2 weeks ago, he would have said, why don't we try to deliver this baby and see what we can do? And then your wife will be fine. 2 weeks ago, Devin would have done that. So this not only felt like really aggressively mean to this father who is mourning the loss of his wife. And oh my gosh, why did they have to zoom in on that boy's face as he cried over his mother's dead body?
I was so mad that no one was getting the kid.
Like, why is he standing there watching his mom
obviously
die?
Dad is grieving. Can a nurse Hunley, where are you? Come get the kid. Like,
anybody could.
Yeah. I think it was I was very surprised too. I was like, somebody should be protecting this child, and they were letting him hear everything and all the different scenarios. And they should, they shouldn't have. He should not have been there for that. He didn't need that trauma.
Yeah. And watching this play out, they continue to attack the dad. Like, do you not have eyes? Do you not have any compassion at all? It doesn't matter if you think he made the wrong choice. It does not. That man is struggling.
I mean, it's too late now. Why make
He's not a doctor.
Exactly.
You guys gave him an option to save both of them.
Yep.
I'm sorry, as a human, you're just that's the one you're gonna strive for, is to try to save your wife and your child, not have to pick between the two of them.
I get the point of the storyline, but I'm frustrated by it.
Yeah,
I think there could have been a better way to make that realization for Devin than to punish a man who is in an immense amount of pain. But Conrad is also, and I like that we're seeing this played out, but again, why have we not seen his grief at all this season? That suddenly it's like, I'm sad. I'm just, and maybe he has felt like that, but we haven't been shown that. I have no doubt that he's still grieving Nick. No doubt in my mind.
I think it's because he's really starting to have feelings.
Yes.
And now it's getting real. Like, now he's really going to have to move on.
Feelings for Billy?
No, to Cade.
Billy.
And I was really, really, really scared for this week, and then bringing Nick back, Emily Van Camp. I was extremely scared, but
it was done well.
It was done very well. They really did surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. They really did surprise me. She wasn't in there a ton. It was nicely done. It wasn't anything dramatic or bad. It was just a few good memories, and that we've never seen.
Yeah.
So
that's what was so nice.
I will say those flashbacks are what had me so confused between when we're going over this, so confused about the whole line of how things happened, because I forgot for a minute that there were flashbacks in between all these things happening when we laid out subject by subject. But the only weird thing was the babysitter, the preschool teacher, or no?
Marion, that was weird.
That's a little really weird. Odd.
That was a little weird.
I think they were setting up like it was a foreshadow, because you already know
but
they dated.
Doesn't make it less weird.
It's like it wasn't a call back; it was a call forward.
Yeah,
but like 3 years you've been fighting over this guy. Like,
it was like, so did he have the hots for the babysitter? Or?
I don't think so.
He didn't, but she did. Like, that's what Nick picked up on it. Like, oh, someone has a crush. So
yeah.
It was because like it's been 3 years, and that's when Conrad and her start sleeping together. And she was ready to be with him the moment he was like, "Hey, let's get together." So has she just been weirdly waiting in the wings, waiting for him to get over the grief of his dead wife? Like, that's messed up. I'm no longer team her anymore in any capacity. Like, that's weird.
It's still Conrad though, so
yeah, he's beautiful, but if his wife just died, I'd be like, maybe I should pull back.
She
on
waited
my
a few
years.
Yeah,
but the key is she waited for him for 3 years. If she was ready the moment he asked, she's been waiting for him.
I'd wait longer, if I'm being honest with you.
Weird. You're weird, Jeanette.
And then, of course, that
Jeanette's
wasn't
still waiting. She just has her
wait.
husband just
Say the word,
as a
Matt.
filler.
Matt, if you're listening,
Just say the word.
keep the beard and the raspy voice though.
And then, of course, she wasn't the only girl that Nick was kind of joking about that night, as we touched on earlier. She caught, Conrad and Anna hugging, and
I missed that completely. I don't know
Did
how
they
I missed
not-
that, but I didn't miss that at
bugged
all.
me. I'm like, Nick, okay, it was
Yeah.
simply a hug, and you jumped to some far off conclusion.
she was pretty emotional. It was
That's
a first
exactly
time away
it.
from Gigi.
I don't
So
She didn't want to be there. She was just wanted to be home, and I think she was looking for any reason to start a fight.
But
To go
this
home.
is this
Maybe
is
you
I
Conrad.
think on your first night out after having a baby, that's what he's gonna do.
Mhm.
But this is Conrad.
I know.
Conrad is
I don't think she
Yeah.
believed it though. I think she was just trying to pick a fight to go home.
maybe because I was like, really, girl? Like you think? I mean,
I'm
he's
right.
not had eyes for anyone else for
Yeah.
a very long time. Like
Her.
It was obviously a significant point in the story, so maybe that was just their way of drawing attention to it,
Also
or
drawing the parallel between the guy who had cancer and Kate's dad who had cancer, and that was the last night out he had with his wife was dealing with a cancer patient. Now Kate's dad has cancer, so
right. And then the fact that it gave them the opportunity to have that conversation of, if one of us goes, that kind of is what sparked it.
That was
I
a
will
tough
say-
conversation.
I got pretty teary-eyed during that
I
conversation.
did too.
Actually,
I know Conrad
was
was
like,
crying, and
that's
to watch it in
sad.
hindsight, it's sad because that Nick dies early.
no, all I keep
But-
thinking is, why is Conrad certainly going to die first?
Right, he
Why,
was
why did we make that decision?
He
right.
was much more reckless. It
Yeah, I was
probably
about to
looked
say he does
more
like.
likely.
She did some pretty reckless things too when it was for the right thing.
Yeah, but he did a lot more
I know.
reckless.
But I guess he's thinking like, I'm taking care of my family, so like, how would I take care of them? Well, if I'm not here, this is, nobody wants to think of the other one going first, so he's gonna, if he, just like Nick was like, we're not talking about this. If it was the other way around, if she was talking about her going first, I think she would have been willing to have that conversation, and Conrad would have been like, whoa, let's stop. So I think no one's gonna have the scenario of the other
Well,
person.
Conrad has a tough decision to make between Kate and Billy. And I
It
think he's
did
going to
look-
choose Kate personally,
It
but
did look like he stood closer to Kate than he did to Billy.
it did. No. And this
mean-
whole episode, it was just him and Cade. Anytime he was thinking of Nick, he was with Cade.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, I don't know. My prediction is that
Choose
he's
her
gonna choose
first.
Cade, but I
The smart
want
decision.
him to choose Billy, but I think he's going to choose Cade.
I have a feeling, though. I mean, obviously, he was able to walk up to both of them, and that's a huge, significant storyline for next season. He's got one on each side. Who is he going to choose? Obviously, I think they're going to play where he's going to date one and then end up with the other. I'm thinking. So whichever one he dates first is not going to be the winner.
Then we need
Season
him to
6
choose
opener
Cade.
is going to show up with Conrad strutting into the hospital with one on each arm.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Should he have Marion watch Gigi?
Yep.
There you go.
No, Marion's walking behind them holding Gigi's hand. Like sister wives.
Oh, no.
Got his own little harem going.
That's-
Well, yeah, next season's gonna be interesting, and I think that is it for the finale. I think we've talked mostly about two characters, but we've talked a lot,
Yeah.
and I think that you get the gist. So it has been officially renewed. Season 6 will start sometime September, October. I don't remember when they start. I know
Usually
that it's
Yeah.
schedules have been weird.
September.
September.
Yeah, so you can tune in then for that. We'll pick up our recaps when the shows pick up off their hiatus. This week you've got a 911 finale, Station 19 finale, Grey's Anatomy semi-finale, and This Is Us semi-finale is on this one in just a few minutes. So if you want to join our groups, The Resident Chastain Family Fan Club and This Is Us Pearson Family Fan Club, don't be swayed by the end of the show because there might be some stuff coming down the pike with it. And on that note, we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. For our listeners craving more, you can search for all 16 of our groups on Facebook by searching Family Fan Club. Come on over and join the conversation. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok under Fandom Family Chats. We try to always make sure to have something that will entertain. Of course, we'd also love your feedback, the good and any bad. And you can provide that by emailing us at familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. Keep an eye out for our website coming soon, where you'll be able to buy FFC merch and merch about some of your favorite TV shows with some favorite sayings and images. We're also working toward hosting a Comic-Con style event in 2024 where some of your favorite fandoms, cast, crew, and fans alike will come together for a fun-filled weekend. You can find those announcements on our website, coming at you soon. Keep watching and listening, and as always, don't forget to share and subscribe.